Come and knock on our door. We've been waiting for you. Where the kisses are hers and his. Three's company too. Come and dance on our floor. Take a step that is new. We've a lovable space that needs your face. Three's company too. You'll see that life is a ball again. Laughter is calling for you. Down at our rendezvous. Three's company too. Hey guys, it's me, Cece Trubiak, and I am doing one of these videos for the first time ever. Normally I do like to post videos of songs and music, but I've been working on a special little project in these quarantine times that I've really been wanting to share with you guys, but it's a different kind of project for me. It's not a music project. It involves sketching and art, another one of my favorite loves. And it also involves paying homage to one of my favorite shows of all time, Three's Company. So really what I wanted to do today was I set myself up here in my house. I've got my coffee up there. I've got my things here that I need to share with you in front of me. I might goof up a lot, but essentially what this video is not going to be is it's not a critical review of Three's Company itself. I mean, I was born in 1979 and I was born and raised on this show. I love everything about this show, but I'm not here to comment on the history of its development, of its making. I'm not here to talk about the history and the drama. For people that want to know anything about the history of this great show, Three's Company, and its years, I think it was on for 8 seasons. Yes, it ran for 8 seasons, from 77 to 84. For anyone that's really interested in like that background stuff on Three's Company, meaning how it was started, how the cast changed over the years, and how it ended after 8 seasons, you can check that out on Wikipedia. There's tons of videos online that kind of do deep dives into what happened, and it's fairly interesting. But this video is not for me to comment on any of that. This video is also not going to be any kind of like critical review of the show, of specific episodes, or of the acting. I love all of it. It doesn't come without its flaws for sure, and anyone just needs to kind of rewatch some of those episodes to see how maybe they wouldn't work in today's times, but the general fun and the love is there, and it's precious, and it's right there on accessible film for us to watch. So when this COVID-19 stuff began, I think we all felt this blanket effect on the world, and as per a lot of the recommendations, we're self-isolating. We're spending more time at home with the ones that we live with, and now's the time to dive into our tool bag of things that we love to do. You know, yes, it's important to stay connected with people in our lives, but it's also important to like fulfill our own entertainment. You know, this is a time for us to read the books we love, watch the shows we love, write letters, write music, reach out to people. So one of the first things I found myself doing was grabbing my old DVDs of Three's Company, popping them in my DVD player, getting up on a Saturday or a Sunday morning just like this, pouring myself a cup of ambition, and setting up my workstation to do some art. Some of you that already follow along on my Instagram or my Facebook know that I do love to sketch and color. And I sometimes do like to pay homage to different musicians or TV shows that I love. So it kind of came natural that Three's Company ended up coming through because I was going to get to it eventually. And I decided what I wanted to do is just immerse myself in that Santa Monica scene, the freewheeling 70s, the me decade. I wanted to revisit the joy of Jack Tripper, Janet Wood, Chrissy Snow, and the whole gaggle of people. So that's what I set about to do. And through the process, I watched back-to-back episodes of this series, which was hilarious. So nostalgic. Like I said, when I was born in 79, seeing Three's Company on TV was a really common thing for me through the 80s. And it was a show that, you know, our family could watch a little bit. And even when I got a bit older and stopped watching a lot of television and, times had changed, new shows came along, Three's Company was always there in the back of my mind, always sort of a go-to for a lot of references that I absolutely love to this day. So I'm just going to take a sippy poo of coffee because I realize I want to keep track of, I have a sort of order here. So I was able to kind of comment on why this started. We're in these unprecedented times. We have to find ways to entertain ourselves. I love arts. We all have our different go-tos, and for those of you that also love the arts, you can identify with why we immerse ourselves in these things, because they're a nice, pleasant escapism, and they're a way for us to express stuff that we feel. And even though I'm feeling all sorts of the same things the rest of the world is feeling, doubt, fear, hope, frustration, anger, I also want to feel happy. I want to feel joy. I want to remember what it feels like to laugh and remember the good things. So this show reminds me of a lot of that fun stuff. The first thing that I really, really wanted to do when I set about this was I could not stop thinking about the apartment. That incredible apartment that just set the stage for all 8 seasons. From episode 1, when the friends meet, to the end when they part ways. The apartment is the stage for everything. So I found myself in the early stages of this thinking a lot about that apartment. I used to want to live in that apartment. I know a lot of us did. That cool door there, and that little stairway. I always wanted an apartment. It was very important for me to make sure I created this, because I have a fondness for even this door, this swinging kitchen door, where so many times shenanigans were happening, and on the other side is that kitchen. I love this apartment. I love this little window up here where we remember the shelving units and the life poster on the wall and the plants, Janet's ferns, to Jack Tripper's bedroom, right in here, and the girls' bedroom, and that bathroom, where we're introduced to the characters from episode 1, inside this bathroom. So that was step 1. I needed to have a space. I needed to create this space, this beautiful apartment. So I did that with a combination of markers, ink, crayon, pencil crayon, and it took me a good week. Like, I worked on this a little over time, and it involved referring to photographs that I could find on Google, and it also involved watching a lot of episodes and just taking note of the details of even the pattern on the wall. Now, you can't see this up close, but I'm going to be sharing a link at the bottom of this where people can go at the end of this to see closer photographs of the art itself. This is my way of kind of sharing the general project with you, but I'm going to be directing you to where you guys can go and take a closer look at the pictures that came out of it. Okay? Now, you'll notice that I have not furnished it right now. So the first step was simply keeping it bare. I wanted to almost envision being able to walk into it and know what it looked like without any of the clutter in it, because the clutter are other details that I wanted to focus on at another time. So this is what I came up with, and I was pretty happy with it, although I really do wish I could have had the kitchen as well, and the bathroom, and of course the bedroom. They're important rooms to this too, but in the name of time, this is what I really focused on, and it took a lot of time. So that was step 1, getting that stage, because I knew eventually I was going to want to build on that. I was really going to want to get to the heart of it, which is the characters. But I needed to do that first step work, because I had this vision. I wanted the characters in it. Now, originally, I really didn't think too hard about it. I didn't know that I was going to keep it bare. That was a part of the process. I could have drawn all of the furniture in over top of it, but I was really fascinated by seeing the place empty. And I wanted to spend another separate time focusing on the actual contents of the apartment, which took me to another weekend or two. I spent time, I'm going to put this up close. You guys can see this up close, but you're going to get a better chance to see it in photograph. But these are all the contents that I could spot inside the apartment that felt really important. You know, we've got that couch. That couch, most of all, is just like the heart of the place. But we've also got the desk with the telephone on it, and the shelving unit in the back, and the lamps, and all the plants, all the wall hangings, and of course that hanging plant with the macrame. All of that stuff I made, and you might not be able to tell here, but what I've done is I actually drew them, and then I've cut them out and glued them on here, like puzzle pieces. Because my intention is to, as I progress this project, is I want to be able to put magnets on the back of these, and so that people can actually put the pieces of the apartment together like a puzzle. So the eventual goal is to get magnets on the back of this stuff and have these pieces laminated so that it's usable and that it wouldn't wreck or damage it if people wanted to like play around with the apartment. So that was another step of it for me. And I look forward to you guys maybe taking a look at the pictures later, because I tried very hard to get the details. It was tricky. It was hard. I did a lot of throwing stuff out. But I had to come up with everything inside the apartment next, which was a joy, because I paid a lot of attention to those videos. I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to also have a sippy poo of coffee, because, you know, oh, I got to get that. Oh. Okay, so next stage of it for me was, like I said, the characters. I fell in love with all of them. You know, when I was chatting about this project with my sister the other day, she said, "Kurt, I remember you used to love Terry." And I did. I used to really, really, really love Priscilla Barnes and Terry. I loved the whole cast, but back when I was a kid, for some reason, I was really drawn to the nurse. In the years that have passed, though, they're all my favorites. Every single one of those people are characters that I cherish and that I admire and love. So what I next had to do is I wanted to come up with paper doll cutouts of the main cast. So I've got paper doll cutouts of the main cast right here that I want to share with you. But here's the thing, I couldn't just stop at one. There's so many different crazy looks that the cast showcased over the years, the different fashions, you know, everything from Mrs. Roper's muumuus to Chrissy's short shorts and Jack Tripper's corduroy pants, Mr. Furley's crazy tapestries. All of it I loved, so I wasn't expecting to go down this Three's Company rabbit hole. I ended up like spending a ton of time just doing nothing but creating paper dolls. So I have a slew of them. For the sake of this video, I'm only going to show you one of each of the cast, but that's also part of why I wanted to do this multi-purpose kind of video and photograph thing, because I can't show you all the dolls right here on this video, but I can talk about how much I love them and direct you to the photographs for any true Three's Company fans that want to maybe take a closer look. So the first character I did have to focus on, of course, was Jack Tripper, played by the incredible John Ritter for all 8 seasons. Some of you might remember this outfit from the theme song. I think this was maybe around season 4 or 5. I could be a bit foggy right now, but I absolutely love that shirt with the pattern on it. And John Ritter, I was so in awe of him. I'm still in awe of him. I'm in love with him. I mean, I crushed on him. I wanted him to be my brother. I wanted him to be my bestie. I wanted him to be my roommate. I wanted him to be my boyfriend. John Ritter passed away in 2003. And when I was watching this, I just couldn't get enough of him. His faces, his comedy, his timing. He just looked like he would be the best friend you could ever have. So here's John Ritter, a.k.a. Jack Tripper, the man of the house. Okay? What would it be without his sidekick roommates. First up, we have Miss Janet Wood, played by the incredible Joyce DeWitt for all 8 seasons as well. Janet was another character that was consistent throughout the entire series, and I love Janet. You know, everything about her, from when she worked at the flower shop and to when she wanted to become a ballet dancer. When she went from, you know, being a bit more plain to being a little bit more of a, you know, hottie in the later seasons with her jeans. I love Janet Wood and Joyce DeWitt. Jack and Janet had an incredible chemistry together, and I always wanted them to end up together. I'm not even going to go there. Next up, the beautiful, the bodacious Chrissy Snow. Now, Chrissy is definitely one of the most beloved characters. She is Three's Company too. This is where I don't want to comment on the history, but I love Suzanne Summers and I love Chrissy Snow. And to me, she brings so much joy. And a lot of my favorite episodes I noticed include Miss Chrissy Snow, including my favorite one where she ends up eating all of Jack's prize pie. Just hilarious. I love Chrissy Snow. The snort, the hair, the jiggle. Beautiful. Next up we have another fella who was throughout the whole series. We have Mr. Larry Dallas, played by Richard Klein. And again, I really loved the chemistry between Jack Tripper and Richard Klein and John Ritter. I could tell that these guys really had a lot of love and respect for each other, and I love anything Larry, you know. I think I've had a few Larrys in my life. So here's Larry. We've also got, from the early seasons, Mr. Roper and Mrs. Roper. The two original landlords. I absolutely love Audrey Lindley, who passed away in 1997, and Norman Fell, who passed away in 1998. These two were incredible, and I'm sure you guys remember them, how oversexed she was, and just... I mean, these two were classic, you know, classic. Classic. Stanley? So I love both of these characters incredibly. Okay, next up, when Chrissy Snow had to leave, they got a new roommate, which was her cousin, Cindy Snow, played by Jenny Lee Harrison. And what a fun girl this girl was. What a klutz. And a lot of the shenanigans that happened between her and Jack are just hilarious. The physical comic timing. And she was quite young when she was on that show, and I remember her also from other shows like Dallas. I love Jenny Lee Harrison and Cindy Snow, an important character in the history. Then, once the Ropers left and departed and went and got their own series, we had Mr. Ralph Furley, the incredible Don Knotts, who passed away in 2006. Rest in peace, but what a funny guy. And I mean, I had a really fun time recreating this outfit for him that I believe is in the intro song. He wears this, and I just love him. I love him. But he had so many cool outfits. And so I made another one with him from my favorite episode, which is the camping episode. So I have another one of those. I'm almost done here, guys. We have the beautiful and incredible Terry Alden, Nurse Terry Alden, Priscilla Barnes. The only roommate that also became a Bond girl. A little trivia for you. She was beautiful and fun. Was my favorite. I loved her. Priscilla Barnes was a beautiful and funny actress. And then, last but not least, I've got Lana Shields. Anne Wedgeworth. Anne Wedgeworth passed away in 2017, but was just another very memorable and important part of the show for me. I absolutely adored her. I could never figure out why Jack Tripper wasn't jumping all over her. What was wrong with you, Jack? I mean, Lana was incredible. So, these are examples of the paper doll cutouts that I made. But I want to say I've got a whole bunch more. I mean, maybe I did about 6 or 7 Jack Trippers, same with all the girls. I didn't do quite as many of the landlords because I just wanted to focus on the gang. And but what I'm going to encourage everybody to do now, because this is essentially it. I think I'm done with the project. The only last thing I need to do now is the finishing touches, laminating the pieces and gluing the magnetic strips on the back so that this could be an interactive toy. People can actually play with the characters and be in the apartment. And I think that for me, that would be a lot of fun. And I'm hoping that someone else would think it's a lot of fun too. So, this video is getting a little long now, but I really, really wanted to do this. I wanted to talk about my love for the show. I wanted to share a labor of love that I've been working on in these times. I'm still going to keep working on it, and once I'm done, I'm going to move on to something else I love. But for anybody out there that loved this show, I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to direct all of y'all to my Instagram and my Facebook pages. That is at CC Trubiak. So at CCTrubiak. If you follow that on Instagram and on Facebook, you will get a closer look. I'm going to post some pictures in the next couple hours. Close-up shots, better images of the art itself so that you guys can appreciate it. I would love to know and hear from other Three's Company fans. Tell me, what are your favorite characters? What are your favorite episodes? What do you love about it? What do you miss about it? Tell me. I would sure love to engage a bit because I'm still plowing through it. And you will notice that I didn't mention several characters. I could not go through the guests. There was an incredible amount of guest appearances and very cool characters that made a lot of the shows, but I couldn't do them. That would just take me a whole other whack of time. I wanted to stay true to the main core cast, but there's someone missing, and she who shall not be named, but I will just share this. I couldn't, guys. I couldn't. Jack should have ended up with Janet, and that is all I'm going to say about it. The other thing is that when I post the pictures today, I probably will add a bit more commentary on specific episodes that I loved. So stay tuned, guys, and please, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me about your love for Three's Company. And in the meantime, I hope that you guys are all taking super good care of yourselves today, and that you've got your passion projects that you're working on in this time, and that you're holding it together. And I know I'm doing